Thierry Lindor. He's an entrepreneur. He's a real estate agent out of Griffintown with Remax, but that's not why he's here today. We're going to talk to him actually about this amazing platform that he's created. He's out there in the community finding influencers and creating a platform for them to share their story and to inspire others and to help motivate others and to do better for the community. To talk about Influence Orbis, I want to hear all about it, but let's again back up and get a little bit of your background.
Yeah.
You were born in Montreal and raised here, correct?
Born in Hochelaga, Maisonneuve, became a man in Saint-Michel in Montreal North, some of the worst neighborhoods in Montreal.
Okay, so tell me what it was like for you growing up with your family. What's you have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, my mom is born in Paris. My father's born in Haiti, but he grew up in Chicago. And they met in Montreal. We're 10 kids, 10 brothers and sisters.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I usually get that right there.
Yeah, exactly. I can't handle two, but okay.
So I'm the oldest boy of 10, and always been around sports and entrepreneurship as well, now that I look back. But yeah, I became a man in Saint-Michel, Montreal North, played basketball at a very high level. I actually played professional basketball in France, and after I got injured, came back and became an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so let's start with that. So you were playing basketball in high school, and then how did you end up in Paris on a professional team? How did that happen?
I played at Vanny College. Shout out to Vanny. Vanny College Cheetahs, and Nally also I think is alum there. Yeah. So.
Cool. So you guys you're not in the same years, are you?
No, slightly not. I wish.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
no, not same year, but the rule is you go to Vanny College, you become a success. That's pretty much what it is. No. All jokes aside, went to Vanny College. I had a Division I scholarship, but when you're young and you're not properly surrounded, instead of going to school, you opt out and you say, no, I want to make money. So I went and I made some money playing basketball in south of France, and I learned the hard way that I should have went to school. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and today I'm definitely happy that I actually didn't go to school at a high level university and so on and so forth. I realized that after playing basketball, I thought literally I played basketball, but what I did as a basketball player is I was the quarterback. So I had communication skills and I had leadership skills, and I was able to make people laugh once in a while. So I try to turn into all of these things, and I started in sales. Started in real estate 14 years ago. Was a real estate broker for a firm for about 8 years, then became a partner, Century 21. And then one day I walked into my senior partner's office and I said, I want to become, a managing partner as well. Maybe not the managing partner, but a senior one. You're too young. That was 26 years old. And now that I think about it, it was a bit crazy to do that. But you know what?
No, not crazy, bold.
Bold. I like that. I like that. I will borrow that from you.
Absolutely.
I will definitely take it from you. So thank you. And very quickly, they started to see me as some saw me as a threat, but some saw me as an asset because they saw that I had the drive and the will to make things happen and not wait for them to happen. And then when I didn't get what I wanted, I politely resigned, and I bought the entire territory for Griffintown. So I bought Remax Griffintown, and today we have close to 30 brokers in 3 years. Yeah, I was able to shift from buying and selling real estate to buy and selling what I love to do, which is being a broker. So my clients became real estate brokers instead of being sellers and buyers. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you've also taken risks in what you've built too with your platform with Influence Orbis. But let's just get back to the first risk. You're 26.
Yeah.
You've got a good thing going. You're probably making good money at that time.
Yep.
Selling a lot of property. You are not a managing partner, but you still are in there as in the management area, I guess you could say. And then you're like, no, I'm going to give it up and take a risk and do something on my own.
Yeah.
Where did you learn, why would you do that? Most adults at, 30, 40, 50 take a very easy, safe route. What is it in you that was able to just do that?
All my uncles are entrepreneurs. My father's a writer, and he never saw himself as an entrepreneur, but he gave me a lot of lessons. Let's call them philosophical lessons. And he was an entrepreneur, and now that I think about it, but he always told me there's two types of people in life. There's people that take risk, and there's people that work for the people that take risk. Anybody telling you otherwise are liars, and at a very young age, you're gonna have to decide which one you wanna be. And I think at 24, 25, I said, I don't wanna work for somebody that takes risks, and I don't wanna live my life with regrets, and I'd rather have memories. Whether they're good, they're bad, at least you'll have memories, right? So I decided to make bold decisions probably around that age, 24,
See,
25.
not crazy bold. You've already integrated the language.
Hey, you converted me, right? So very bold decisions. And then from there on, I never looked back. I've taken risks and a lot of them. And yeah, with Influence Orbis as well, I've definitely taken risks.
So let's get to that, because I know you self-financed it, which is a huge risk in and of itself. But let's just talk about what the concept is, Influence Orbis. You talk about influence, and you mentioned Nally as being an influencer.
Yeah.
What is an influencer? What does that mean?
Well, Influence Orbis, we aim to redefine what it means to be an influencer. For us, an influencer is not somebody that's on Facebook or on Instagram and that has thousands of followers. You know what I mean? An influencer for us is just the next level of entrepreneurship. Influencers are people of influence, actually. And that's why I don't really like the term influencer. I'd rather say Samantha is someone of influence. Nally is someone of influence. You are somebody of influence. And influencers, what we've realized throughout inviting and kind of studying all the influencers, the difference between entrepreneurs and influencers is actually very big. Most entrepreneurs are very competitive. Influencers tend to be very collaborative.
Right.
Entrepreneurs tend to be win for me and my shareholders, and then influencers tend to be win-win. So the influencer, the real influencers, the people of influence, they've gotten there sometimes without even knowing, but they've gotten there by being collective, by sharing, by sharing knowledge, sharing wealth, sharing resources. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give a voice to local influencers and mixing our platform, giving basically a voice to local influencers and mixing them with international influencers.
So that they can connect and create their own communities.
Correct. We're trying to basically create that ecosystem. And like I said, influencers, entrepreneurs bring value to themselves, and that's fine in their company, and influencers bring value to their community. And there was so many great influencers in Montreal that I knew of, but I had never heard of. In terms of TV and traditional media, I was like, enough is enough, you know? And I would go to entrepreneurial conferences, and it was the same thing over and over. And I like to say that we're the local TED, because contrary to most conferences, we're not sedentary in our DNA. We aim to be nomad. We're going to go to the world. Actually, we're going to Toronto, Influence Toronto this coming up November, and Influence Paris in February of next year. So things are going fast, and people are like, whoa, what's going on, Terry? You're not doing real estate anymore? I was like, no, I'm doing real estate. But then they get curious because they say to themselves, well, you have a 7-figure business. Why would you leave that? And I tell them, I said, I didn't leave it. I'm just exploring other avenues because I think the Montreal ecosystem needed something. Not a TEDx, not a C2 Montreal. I'm a fan of all of these conferences. I love these conferences, Startup Fest. I go to these conferences. But something different and that focused on people of influence, whether you went to school or not.
The thing I really appreciate about what you're doing, and the difference between an entrepreneur and an influencer is about creating the community and sharing resources and stuff. And
100%.
People have said that to me a lot. They're like, well, why are you helping so-and-so? She's your competitor. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm like,
influencer.
Well, I guess I am.
You're a person of
Well, there's
influence.
enough business for everybody.
100%.
Why can't I have a Facebook Live show, and why can't Nally have one too? Why can't we both have one that's super successful? I don't
100%.
understand why I have to compete with her. So those are the kinds of people that you're trying to connect with other people around the world and create some momentum, I guess.
You got it.
Okay.
In every single city where we'll go, we'll get 40 to 50 local influencers, and we'll allow them to connect. In Montreal, it was Gary V. People say, how did you get Gary? Gary could have went to any conferences. It's not a question of money. We didn't give him more money than others, but he got it. He really got it. And I love what he did in Montreal. He was like, right away, he got into the faces of influencers. He's like, if all you're doing is, wearing beautiful clothes and taking pictures and trying to get free stuff, well, your brand is going to die as an influencer. But if you're aiming to be a person of influence, influence is the ultimate weapon.
And enhance people's lives.
100%. Because when I enhance your life, when you enhance Nally's, enhance Samantha's, it's going to come back. And I'm not talking about some kind of like cosmic energy thing. No, I'm genuinely talking about when you give a platform to Nally's voice, because she came on your platform with her voice. Well, you're exponentially expanding your voice as well. It's nature, right? So, and that's what we feel like we're doing in every single ecosystem, and we are creating an international network of influencers and people of influence. Very important, not the traditional Facebook, social media influencers.
I totally get what you're saying, but I think that at the heart of all of it, there has to be the pure intention. Because I think if people are saying, oh, well, I'm going to have her on because therefore it's only going to benefit me, then in the end, that's all going to fall apart anyway.
You gotta give without expecting,
Exactly.
right? If you give without expecting, good things happen to you. And I truly believe that Nally's mission cancer is horrendous, it's horrific, and it's not something you wish on anybody. But imagine if Nally hadn't blessed so many people.
Exactly.
Because if I don't go to Europe and go through what I go through, and then I go to a great school and get an MBA and so on and so forth, I never get into all of this. I get into 9 to 5, I work my ass off, I become partner somewhere, and I don't look to help the ecosystem. What for? I make my money, go home, my wife, my kids, and that's it. And Nally's a bit the same thing, right? She goes through what she went through, and today she is positively impacting not just the cancer ecosystem, an entire ecosystem. And nowadays I hear people come up to me and say, but you're lucky. And I tell them, well, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I'm not trying to say that you don't work hard. I'm just saying you don't know what I go through.
I don't like the term luck either, because people use
that
that
term.
sometimes. Oh, you're really lucky. You're doing this, you're doing that. And I'm like, I'm not lucky. I've been working really hard. I did go to school. I did do my stuff, although what I'm doing right now has absolutely zero to do with the education I got in terms of the formal education.
Opportunity and hard work. That's what I'm
but you
right?
have to go out. You have to make it. Chris and I were saying, we want to have not a TV show, but an online show. We don't want to do traditional broadcasting, because then we're going to have limits, and people are going to tell us, stop here, start here, don't say this, don't say that.
And you can't curse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can't curse, and now I can. And so we're like, well, why are we waiting for someone to come and like our idea? Forget it. We'll just make our own show.
And that's it's funny you're talking about this, because I was waiting for somebody to make me a partner, and I said, you know what, forget you. And my office got 2 times, double the amount of brokers we had. In less than 3 years, we've recruited like nobody else. We've innovated as far as the digital marketing. And the same thing with the conference. Why would I wait for somebody to create a conference that I think brings value to Montreal's ecosystem, to Toronto's ecosystem? And then I said, you know what? If Guy Laliberté was able to juggle balls 30 years ago and say, I'm going to export circus experience across the globe. Yeah. Why can't I export entrepreneurial experiences across the globe? And that's the vision, that's what we're aiming to do, and slowly but surely we're getting there.
Oh, I love how you think. So let's talk about the event in Toronto. Should anyone wish to go, how do they become a part of that?
Well, actually, you could reach us at answers@influenceorbis.com. The website is already out, influenceorbis.com. There's going to be the Toronto to purchase tickets and so on and so forth, that's going to be out there. And we're very happy to announce actually that we're already the biggest influencer conference in Canada. That's already done after only one event.
Wow.
Our aim is to become the biggest one in the world, obviously, but we're also the most affordable. Toronto ticket pricing, I've went hard with my partners, but we're going to start at $99.
Oh, that's so reasonable. Usually those conferences are hundreds. And then thousands. What makes it so sad is those people who really at their gut want to be a part of it, really want to learn, have all those ideas, have all that motivation, but they don't have the money necessarily to invest. They're not the ones that make it. So that's so nice.
Yeah, we wanted to create a system where people, I always say this, right? There's a difference between goals and system, right? So the goal of the Montreal Canadiens is to win the Stanley Cup, but the systems they put in place is what matters to win that Stanley Cup. So practice every day, so on and so forth. How do we create the biggest, most affordable influencer conference across the globe? Well, these are the systems we have to put in place, and this is how we're going to do it. So Toronto's going to start at $99. There's a couple of confirmed guests that I'm going to announce probably in the next week or so. But there's that one person that should we get a confirmation, we're going to suddenly demand attention from the local media in Toronto. I can't tell you guys, but you know what? I'll do a FaceTime live with you when I'm announcing it, and then we'll do maybe share it with your audience and make it fun. But we should know in the next 10 days, and it's gonna be fun.
Great.
Little guy from Hochelaga Maisonneuve and Saint Michel, Montreal North that did all of this.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad you're here. We'll put all the links on Facebook after we're done.
In my opinion, the goal to start this is all these beautiful people being in one place. There's a lot of conferences in Montreal, but I don't think they look like us tonight. Do you guys agree or what? Yeah, all right.